going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to set up some egg boxes. So without further ado, it's that time of year. Let's get those egg boxes set up. Let's get into today's video. So I'm going to go through the process of setting up some egg tray egg boxes today for you guys, because ultimately we are getting to that time of year where ultimately we are getting clutches. So fail to prepare, prepare to fail. So we're going to get some egg boxes done and made up. So substrate of choice, I use perlite. I have used vermiculite in the past. You can use just water, you can use sponges with water in. It is entirely up to you what substrate you use. I just like using perlite because, well, more aesthetics more than anything, but you'll see what I mean when we get into it. I'll just buy a big bulk bag. There's nothing special about it. It is what it is. Literally perlite, straightforward. So we're going to get these egg boxes filled up with some perlite, and then I'll show you how I work out the water to weight ratio. Let's go. So as you can see, we have our perlite now in our tubs, and the long and short of it is there is no real measurements, and I keep saying this to try and make it idiot proof for people. And when I say idiot proof, I'm an idiot, and if I can do it, you guys can do it. Ultimately, it's so straightforward. So I normally put about an inch. That looks about half an inch, but in the middle it's a bit raised. So I normally put about an inch worth of substrate. All the substrate there is to support the egg tray which is going in, and I'll explain why I use egg trays shortly. So water ratio, I hear you say. Gav, what's the ratio? I hear you say. There is no ratio. All I want to make sure is that what I do this. All I want to do is just make sure I can just see the water coming up. There we go. Not sure if you can see that, but basically we can just see the water level just there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so the water level is just creeping on top of the substrate. That's it, job done. Now with perlite, it is quite dusty, so please be careful. Wear a mask or do it outside when you're first putting the perlite into your tubs. But that's it. That is genuinely it. So I'll show you again. We will just go round. I like to dampen down all of it. Then once I can just start to see the water level, I'll stop. On to the next one. Okay, so now we've done the water, and normally what I like to do in the incubator, I actually have some bottles of water, 2 litre bottles of water, which if you haven't already, if you haven't watched the incubator build, go back, watch that video, because that will explain why I have 2 litres of bottles of water in the bottom of my incubator. If I'd got a clutch of eggs and I'd come home and I've got no egg tubs ready, I would use the water out the incubator because it's already up to temperature for the incubator. Because we're making a bunch of egg boxes and I don't need them in the next sort of few days, I'm just using water, cold water, and that'll be fine. Like I said, mix it in. By the time these get up to temperature, which will be by the end of the day or potentially tomorrow, I can use them if need be. There is no measurement, and this is something that I try to explain to people. You don't have to measure it. I don't need the substrate that's in there. I could just use water. So the substrate is there to hold the egg tray and suspend the eggs off the wet substrate. Okay, now some people like to bury the eggs into the substrate. That's fine if that's what you want to do. That's entirely up to you. Then you must, and it's probably better if you do, measure the water to substrate ratio. I've never done that. I've never needed to. Obviously you guys know I'm in the UK, so this is how I do it. Other breeders out there in different countries will use a press and seal type cling film stuff. I don't do that because we have kind of a great balance, if you like, of humidity versus high or low humidity. So I find just keeping the humidity in the tubs. Doing it this way is fine. The humidity will probably get up to about 90 to 100%, which is where we want it. So we want the humidity as high as possible. Egg trays. Let's grab some egg trays. These are the Dragon Hatch trays that we did. These are the Balls to You limited edition. They are still available. We do have egg trays on the Viper World website, and also you can go to Dragon Hatch website as well. So the egg tray goes in like so, and all I do is press it down a little bit just so it's stable. Now, as you can see, there's a gap all the way around. These egg trays fit perfectly well in these tubs. What are these tubs? What's the make of these tubs, I hear you say? These are the WHAM, WHAM shoe boxes, which are 9 litres. They come in a pack of 3. These work perfect. I've used them for years. When I first started this technique, I found that the WHAM shoebox just was the perfect size for the incubators. It was the perfect size for a clutch of eggs from ball pythons, and it allowed the depth for the substrate that I was using and the water. And I basically put the lid on, put it in the incubator, forget about it. What we do with these egg boxes, we do put air holes in. So there's one there and there's one at the back. That allows for a gas exchange. So this is very important and something that a lot of people forget to do. Gas or oxygen exchange in your egg box is important. What you can have, and try to imagine this, the eggs, when the female lays the eggs, she needs to control them a bit better, but also the eggs need to get oxygen. Okay, they are porous, the eggs are porous and will allow oxygen to penetrate the eggshell. So if you can imagine, if we'd sealed this airtight and put some press and seal or cling film and there was no air exchange, we'd basically be starving the babies of oxygen. By putting an air exchange or a gas exchange system in, which is literally get a soldering iron and just pierce the tub either end, that's all you need. The lids on these do not seal like airtight, so that's another good thing, but they do clip on, which is important. We put the air exchange slightly higher just so it runs above the top of the eggs, if you know what I mean, and that works absolutely fine. Now, my eggs tend to hatch around about day 52, day 53. I do not need to lift the top off and do a gas exchange through the whole process. So for 53 days to 55 days, I do not need to take the tops off. Some breeders do a gas exchange. So when they're using a press and seal, they'll pull the eggs out the incubator, they'll pull back the press and seal or the cling film and allow that gas exchange to happen. Now imagine this, if I go away for a week and there's nobody here to do that gas exchange, what's going to happen? It's going to cause problems. So the way I sort of work this system is that it's fail safe, it's idiot proof. You don't have to worry about it. Put your eggs in there, put them in your incubator, job is a good one. And that's it. I mean, this is really straightforward, guys. Really straightforward. Let's look at the egg trays. So why do I use the egg trays? Reality of it is you can use whatever platform you want. Just make sure, I find that the platform needs to be ventilated. You don't have to use the egg trays. You can use just some grate or some grid. You know, you can use whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. I use these because ultimately when I get a clutch, first of all, they're all stuck together, or most of the time they're stuck together. So how they lay is how they stay. And I can position the clutch into a natural position and allow the divots to sort of support and stop the eggs from moving. If they're laid and they're not stuck together, then again, the Dragon Hatch tray allows me to position the eggs where I want them. So again, great. The other thing with the Dragon Hatch, as you can see, it is oblonged and it does come over the side. That's if you get some really long eggs, which you can, and it allows it to fit in the tray comfortably. You don't have to use the egg trays, guys. You can use whatever you want. But doesn't that look good? You know, if you've got OCD or ADHD like me, aesthetics is everything. So for me, the white perlite with the green tray, and when the grey lid goes on, it just looks good, especially when it's in the incubator, and I'll show you guys in a moment that everything's kind of uniformed. Egg trays, you don't need to use them, you don't have to use them, you can use whatever you want. I just prefer to use them. So let's get these egg trays in here, let's get the lids on, and let's get them in the incubator. So again, I'll show you what I mean with the lids. So all they do, click on exactly like that, and it's just so straightforward and satisfying, not gonna lie. Job done. So these are the egg boxes that we've got ready. The other thing is, like I said, we'll go over in a moment, but we'll go and put them in the incubator. So these are now set up perfectly ready to go in the incubator, ready for those clutches. I've got to stress, guys, get them ready, because you never know when them females are about to lay, give you those fantastic pearly whites. So we need to prepare. So fail to prepare, prepare to fail. So let's get these in the incubator. So we've got the egg boxes in the incubator. This incubator has not been off this year. Absolute godsend, not gonna lie. Yeah, they're all in there, guys. They're ready, getting nice and warm, ready for those fresh pearly whites. As you can see, we have already clutch number 5 up to clutch 5 in the incubator. We've got 2 labels on that one there because we have 1 egg on its own that was laid on the same day. So I've marked that one and put that in there. But as you can see, we've got 5 clutches in, and we've now got the egg boxes that we've just made getting up to temperature. That there is awesome. I love that. I love it when it's full and we've got babies hatching and eggs to collect. It's the best part of what we do. I absolutely love this hobby. It's amazing. There you have it, guys. Egg boxes made simple. Keep it simple, trust me. Ultimately, this is going to be one of the easiest things you guys set up, and I do advise doing it this way because it's idiot proof. If I can do it, I'm fairly confident you guys can do it. But I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next one.